Yeah, I also think it's really interesting that you mentioned that revenue has been the plug. Um, because I think we work with institutions of all types. Within the corporate space, there's a high focus on what is revenue because expenses become the plug. So it's opposite in the
Yes.
corporate world. And then we also work with other government agencies that kind of think as revenue as the plug as well. So if my expense base is going to look like this, and I have all these capital projects I need to do, how do I need to either raise rates or raise taxes or whatever it is to cover my costs? And I think higher ed kind of sits in between those two worlds of government and business. And so, can you talk a little bit about what you see in the industry and like in our conversations you've referred to you come from industry and you're treating it like a business. That is not always the case in higher ed. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So actually, the industry model that you mentioned, building your revenue and then plugging your expenses, is what the approach should be.
Mhm.
What has happened, Brandon, just 5 years ago, you had more students than seats, you had more workers than jobs. You were going to meet budget. Everything was just, it was a somewhat of a mindless process. Now it's shifted significantly. And so now you have to adopt a business model. You have to truly construct a budget that you think is going to be a predictive model for your financial outcomes for that particular year, for the years that are forthcoming. And so you have to be honest in terms of what will be my revenue stream. Because again, you're trying to really hone in on your business and improve the predictive model, not just try to appease, a broad audience.
Mhm.
Again, we have to build our revenue models, and it has to be very collaborative.